The latest episode of The Bad Batch, Season 3 finally gave fans some much-needed answers regarding these new assassin clones that have been introduced in this series. According to Crosshair, these assassins are part of a division of clones trained as specialized operatives and initiated into a deep-secret cover program run by Dr. Hemlock on Tantus. Their previous identities are erased during conditioning, making them a mindless soldier for the Empire. And Crosshair knows all of this because they tried to make him one of them. However, whether because of his stubbornness or modifications as a member of Clone Force 99, prevented the Empire from being successful. Not only did these two episodes give us some answers, but it showed us how differently Crosshair could have turned out if the Empire had been successful. Crosshair gets much of the focus during the latter episode, especially in terms of the action, taking on the assassin clone multiple times in 1v1 fight, and one couldn't help but notice some of the similarities. There are the surface level comparisons, like their similar fighting styles and appearances. Both are relatively tall and lanky, using long-range rifles. When they trade blow for blow, it gets to the point where it looks as though Crosshair is fighting himself in a mirror, except the other soldier dons special Imperial armor. Of course, they are all clones of the same person, but the semblance here is uncanny. It's like we're being given a brief look at what Crosshair could have become, had the Empire been successful in its conditioning of Crosshair. We could have seen Crosshair hunting down these same targets, Senator Singh and Omega, without being able to consciously realize what he's doing. Even more, when the two clones fall into the rushing water, their fistfight continues and it's very much evenly matched. Both are extremely weakened by the end of it, but when the assassin gains the upper hand and attempts to drown Crosshair, it isn't Crosshair who saves himself, rather the other clones he has allied himself with. The difference in the end isn't how Crosshair and the assassin match up against each other, but the situations they've put themselves in. The assassin clone abandoned Wolf and the other Imperial soldiers, refusing to work with them. He instead chose to pursue Omega in his own way, doing what he thought was right rather than sticking with those around him. Sort of like what Crosshair did to the Bad Batch earlier in Season 1, and the path that he would have continued down had he been conditioned into one of those assassin clones. In the end, it's the lack of support and backup that the assassin clone is missing that leads to his downfall. On the other hand, Crosshair, by reuniting with his brothers, has repaired these bonds and made allies for life, people that can be there for him when he can't necessarily save himself. It's scary to think about how different Crosshair's character could have gone had the Empire successfully turned him into an assassin clone, but the duality of these two soldiers in this episode also serves to show the importance of brotherhood that is so important to clones, whereas the Empire is much more individualistic and one cannot rely on the help of others to make it through. What did you think of the latest episode of The Bad Batch? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to like the video and subscribe for coverage of The Bad Batch as a new episode premieres every week, and remember to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Thank you all for watching, and remember, the Force will be with you. Always.